group or watch group on Facebook.
Yeah, let me do that.
Uh-huh. Yes, or maybe ask Alex to do that.
I got it.
You got it. Okay, good. Okay, so we are online and we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram and we are on YouTube and Twitter. And I'm with Pedro, the amazing, unbelievable, beautiful, handsome, muscular, smart Pedro. How
Well,
are you?
I'm trying to be like you, but I'm not there yet.
I'm trying to be like you.
I'm working on it.
How are
So,
you doing?
so awesome. I mean, it's been a few weeks since I interviewed you. I was like wanting an interview like so bad.
Yeah, well, here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. So we've been. I mean, you've been teaching us so many things about. Lately, I feel it's. I mean, in a way, it's always the same. In a way, right?
Yeah.
You're
It's
always
about life. So life,
life.
life is the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
But
always
it's always about life because life creates the physical universe and not the other way around.
Yep.
But you need to learn the physical universe in order to get away from the effect of the physical universe and actually start to live. And, I was talking to someone yesterday and we were talking and I said, most people get buried somewhere around the age of 80, 85, something like that. But they die at the age of 25.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they don't actually realize what is going on. So as a child, you still have dreams and you realize that you know that you can create by dreams.
Yep.
But as soon as you grow, your dreams dies and you actually you physically continue, but you actually die. So the way to restore life is to restore the ability to dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes so much sense. And that's what like all you've been teaching us all the time about creating and just putting it there and bringing something out of nothing and not mattering anything else that's happening. Just
Yeah,
put it there. And not matter what you've done before. Without
exactly.
experience doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
just put it there.
yeah.
It's so
Just put it there, and the past is your biggest enemy. Most of the people think that your knowledge has to do something with your past, and this is so unbelievably twisted. Why? Because yes, you can get knowledge from the past. You can actually go get your past and look at what's happened in the past and say, well, that's what happened.
right.
And it will give you some kind of data, but not actual knowledge, because knowledge you create, knowledge you don't get. And that's fascinating. Knowledge you create, knowledge you don't get. You get data, but
Right.
knowledge, what to do with this data.
Exactly.
How do you create with this data? How do you bring something out of nothing? That has nothing to do with the past.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and it's interesting. So just recently, a friend of mine, he's having some struggles with who he wants to be and what he wants to do. And so I'm a chemical engineer. I worked with the federal government as a chemical engineer for almost 8 years. And from that, I left that to move here to Puerto Rico and just do business full time. And he was like, how did you do that? Like that title of engineer, like with the federal government, leave that behind, making over $100,000 a year, leave that behind to start a business and be just a businessman, like just like that identity, because he's struggling.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he like his thought was like, I'm sure it was hard, right? And I'm like, no, I just decided. For me, it was like nothing. I mean, I never put too much thought into it. For me, it was like, I just like we know where we're going. When you know where you're going and what you want to do, none of that really matters. It's where you're headed, not what you've done in the past.
Yeah, the past is actually the sum of all your limitations. And it is your only enemy. It is the more you rely on the past, the less you rely on yourself. And you can say what kills dream is the past.
Yeah.
And without dreams, you are not alive. As we said, you get buried at the age of 80, but you die at the age where your last dream died. When you stop dreaming, this is when you die. And usually the average age is 25 for people in the Western world.
Wow.
They get buried at 80, 85, 20, but in 25, they actually die.
Why is that? Why is that age?
Because up to that age, you have a constant bombardment, lots of lies that tells you, look, don't dream, don't dream, don't dream, don't dream. And you will see that the spirit at that time is very adamant to grow the body. It has a purpose to grow the body. And this purpose alone remove all the barriers. When the purpose is high, the barriers is non-existence.
Right.
And then by the age of 25, you basically grow the body. From that moment on, the body is big. It's big enough. And you lost that purpose and you don't have a new purpose. And the moment that you don't have a new purpose, you don't dream anymore. And that's it.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So all you have to do is to figure out a new purpose as strong as growing the body. And if you do find it, if you learn how to find it, because it's not something that you say, well, what is my purpose? Let's see. No, there's an exact way to establish what is your purpose. And once you really figure out what is your purpose, you will see that you will never die. You'll never die. You will actually never die. So that's how powerful it is.
That's amazing. Well, it just makes so much sense because there's something to look forward to, right? So a lot of people, and it's common to see people that retire and they die within a few short years because they don't have a purpose. They have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah, that's correct. Let me just say hi to everyone. So I see Galit is here and I see Della. Della, hello, Della. I really like Della. Della is amazing. And my favorite Margaret. Hi, Margaret Tom. How are you? I didn't see you for how long now? Probably 2 days, and it's too difficult. But I will see you on Friday.
Let's see who's
yes,
on.
nice to see you. And Kakshana, I hope I'm saying it right. And Edward, hi Edward, how are you? And Pedro, Edward say hi to Pedro as well. And Margaret, I love those kisses.
I'll say hi to a couple people. I see Dale Childress, Manito, Maribel, and Noash. So I'll say hi to them. I can see that they're on Facebook.
Excellent. And Aaron is here, and there are a few people, or quite a few people on Instagram, but I don't actually see the comments. So I know you are there, but I don't see your comments. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And I'll be very, very, very happy to answer. I'm here with Pedro, and what we are talking about today is anything.
Life. I mean, everything that's life, which life is everything, right?
Exactly.
So it's interesting because, I mean, one of the things that I've seen in studying and educating myself with you and erasing all the garbage is relationships. And see how important they are in business, how important they are in your personal life, how important it is dealing like your relationship, like you, the spiritual being with your physical body. I mean, everything. It seems like everything is exactly about relationships. And I've seen how I've improved in all those areas. And I want to, how do I always want to keep improving in those areas. And like right now I see, like, I look at my relationships and I'm like 99% they're great relationships, but there's like one that's like retarded. So how do I deal with that? How do I handle that?
Okay, so the first thing, let's look about what is relationship. Okay, relationship is actually a process of exchange. It's a process of exchange. You give me, I give you. You give me, I give you. So relationship is actually a process of exchange. And if there's no exchange, there is no life, there is nothing. So in order to grow a business, you need to exchange. I give you something, you give me something more than I expected, and I give you back more than you expected, and you tell about it to another person, and he comes to me, and there is an expansion. So relationship is an exchange, and exchange is only a condition where a person get more than he expected, and not or not maybe, and give more than he expected to give. So when these two things happen, I give you more than expected and you give more than expected, then there is an exchange. If I give you less than expected, it's not exchange. If I give you exactly what was expected, it's not exchange. Exchange is only when I give you more than you expected, and I need to make sure that you give more than expected. Okay, so it's both sides. So otherwise, there's no actual exchange. Now, that process of exchanging is actually what creates expansion. And you will see that a person is as healthy, as wealthy, as happy as he exchanges. And how do you exchange? By the system of relationship. So relationship is a system of exchange. That's all, is a system of exchange. So any area that you have a retarded relationship, like you said, what we have there, what we have there is either you gave a lot without expecting, and you created an enemy, or you took without giving. That's the only two options. Either you gave too much and you didn't expect back, or you took without actually giving. So you will see it in the case of parents. The parents give too much to the children without getting anything back, or not getting the exact amount or more back. So the children will attack the parents. Sooner or later, the children will attack the parents. And you see it in relationship with friends. A friend gives you, and you don't give something back. You will hate that friend somehow, and you will have problems. Yeah. So your health, your wealth, your happiness, all defined by the number and quality of your relationship. Now, this is quite fascinating, because in life, quantity comes before quality. In life, quantity comes before quality. But in relationship, you must make sure that the quantity, the exchange, extra exchange, that's quantity, is really above, because if not, you lose everything. You lose everything the moment that you violate this condition of exchange, when you don't give more than expected, and not or, and make sure that the other side give more than he was expected to give. You have to keep this both sides, otherwise you are dead.
How do you control that portion, though? Because sometimes I feel like I can give. How do you keep that other person's, I guess, ethics or whatever in, so that they also give more?
Talk to them.
Okay, just communication.
What if communication? And if they don't, you probably did not explain well. If you don't, you did not explain well. 99% of the time, people are good. People are good, and they have good intentions. Let's say I give you something more than expected, and you don't. So I did not explain well. Explain do not mean only talking. Explain mean using intelligence and force. So I may need to cut something. No more chocolate. You want, yes, I would not give you this thing unless if you will start to exchange, and I would explain why. I would not do that as an action of a protest. I will explain, look, I'm not going to give you that because I'm expecting you to give me back. And if you don't give me back, I will not give you that. And I'm willing to help you to see what you can do to give back. And you will say, no, but I did give you back. And I will say, really? And you say, yes, I did this and this and that. And I will realize, wow, actually you did. And even didn't know. Many times you will find that the other person doing things for you, but you didn't know. So more times than not, the other person is doing something for you, is helping you, but you don't know it. So any relationship, the first thing, the reason they are broken is something with this exchange is out. Something is not operating correctly. For example, I'm married to, let's say I'm married to my wife, and let's say I cheat her, okay? So it's also exchange. Why? Because she gives me a lot of love, and she gave me, and she said, look, I trust you, and she gave me a lot of, like I can trust her, I know for sure she will not cheat me, but then I don't give her the same way, I cheat her. So I give her less than what she gave me on the cheating side, yes?
Yeah.
And now I have to give her less communication as well. And I have to be less less nice, and everything is less. It's exchange. It's always the bottom line of relationship is exchange. If you want to fix any relationship, don't go to who did what, when, how, blah, blah, blah. Where did you break the exchange?
Wow. See, and it's interesting because I see that a lot. I mean, you see it everywhere, of course, but especially with children, right? Because the parents are like, they'll just, oh, you go to your room. And they don't really help the child understand why and what they need to do in order to get into that exchange.
Yep.
They're just
It's just an arbitrary, yes. It's just an arbitrary. I get upset with you, I got insulted, or I'm in protest, and I tell you now, you know what? Go to your room.
Right.
What do I do with that? It's not, the purpose is not to help.
Yep. It's suppression. I mean, there's no communication. Once you're cutting off communication, you're cutting off the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, because
so generally yeah.
Go ahead.
So generally you need to look at every relationship like that. What do you do with your body? Are you giving the body exactly what it gives you? Let's say the body is always tired. The body is always hungry. The body is not wanting to do what you tell him to do. Well, you need to make sure the exchange is in. The body should give you more than you give it. You give all the energy to the body. You give the body orders. You give the body direction. You let the body eat. You bring the body food. You do all of these things for the body, and the body is tired. That's criminal. That's criminal.
That's so crazy. That's such an awesome viewpoint. And that's why working out, you feel so much better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you do exercise. You're demanding production from the bodies. You're demanding the body to get an exchange.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so amazing.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, the body will become fat, and it will become painful, and it will become slow. Why? Because you didn't, no exchange. You didn't demand back as much as you give it. And now you think now that you are not okay. You think you feel useless. And it's not that you've done less, is you did not demand the exchange back.
Wow.
It applies to every single activity you do. If you do, it's quite easy to give the exchange, but it's more difficult to demand it back. People think, well, but it's difficult to give. No. The give is the easy part. The difficult part is to demand the exchange back. If you don't demand the exchange back, you will die. And what can you do in order to handle it? What you need to do is to look at any area that you're doing well. Any area you're doing well, and figure out how can you improve the exchange there. That's number one, because the tendency will be to look at areas where you do bad.
Right.
Yes. Now, look at areas you do well, and increase the exchange there. So things will become so good that on the other areas that you're not doing as well, you will look and you say, good, so what am I doing in these areas that are good that I'm not doing here? Not what the other side is doing, what I'm doing, because I need to demand from you the exchange. I need to make sure that you do that. It's still my responsibility.
Yep.
It's maybe your fault, but it's my responsibility.
Right.
So at the end, even if someone come and steal from me, like come home and steal from me, he may be at fault, but I'm responsible because there's on this neighborhood 200 houses and they came to me.
Right. Exactly. And that's such a hard concept for so many people to grasp. Like for me, if I mean, so I have two apartment buildings, and it's like nothing bad ever happens in the sense like people like they'll put signs and stuff because they want to protect like even their garbage cans, they don't want them to get stolen, right? And they get stolen.
Yeah.
And mine are like nice expensive garbage cans and they don't get stolen. And I'm like, it's all about it's me because it's always me, right? And if something does get stolen, then I have to look at myself. What did I do that caused that to happen? And that's such a hard, for many people, a hard thing to look at.
Yeah, it's hard to look at, and it's really the viewpoint is so the testing, because you think, well, what did I do? What did I do? It's so wide. What did I do? I do so many things per day.
Yeah.
You can narrow it down to very simple thing. Who I did not give to more than he expected, and who I did not demand as much more than expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These two, you look at those two, you fix everything in your life. Everything in your life, it's so simple. You don't have to go too complicated because you're in real contact with 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 people, really. Even if you are in sales, at any given time, you have X amount of people, 10 people, 15 people maximum. But you do 2,000 actions per week. Right. So if you look at the actions, it can be anything and you will justify it and you will never get out of this mess. But if you look at each person and you say, not how good is the relationship? Did I give him more than he expected? Which you can say, did I wow him? Mm-hmm. Did I wow this person? Yes, good. Did he wow me? No. Okay, it's time to talk. And the wow me do not have to be that he gave me something. He can just go and talk nicely about me. He can just go and help my company. He can just go and help my child. He can do something that will wow me. If he did not wow me, if it was just fair, if it was just okay, doesn't work. I need to wow you. You need to wow me. Imagine that you're coming to these interviews and every day we will do the interview and I will be, okay, it will be, yes, it's nice, but it's not wow. These interviews will not grow.
Right.
So I have to give more than expected. There must be some kind of a wow. So one time I will give a free webinar. One time I will give an amazing answer. One time I will just be funny. And one time I will just be willing to talk to people that have questions or take questions. They need to be always the next wow. And the wow is to wow you by me giving you what you need, not by me giving you what I need. When I'm giving what I need, I'm interesting. And when I'm giving you what you need, I'm interested.
Right.
And that's what you need from the other side as well.
And so how do you figure that out? How do you figure out what is needed, or what they actually need and want?
You observe. Number one, you observe, and it's if you know the person, it's fine. But the best thing to do is ask.
Right.
Ask. And by asking and really understanding the person, you already wowed him because
you're interested.
There's always never a situation when someone really understood you. And all you want is to be understood. If you will just be very, very, very good in understanding people, you will give them the most valuable mental gold. The mental gold is being understood. It's better than anything. It's like the gold and diamonds and everything. It's better than everything for a person. If you actually understand the person, he will give you anything, and you will see all the complaints in relationship. He doesn't understand me. She doesn't understand me. She doesn't do what I want because she doesn't understand me. He doesn't understand me. She doesn't understand me. Teenagers against parents. Oh, they don't understand me.
Yeah.
They're old. It's
That's
all
awesome.
about understanding me. If you just understood the person, just understood him, nothing more, you will become a millionaire. Why? Because the relationship will become so good. So what's happening is the fact that you understand someone, you exchange with him so much, you wowed him so much, he will give you money, he will give you kisses, he will bring you customers, he will help you, he will go out of your way to make you feel amazing.
That's awesome. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I just noticed where someone actually did that. So it's really cool to see. And it's a relationship that I've actually been intentionally working on and improving. So that's really, really cool to see that. So thanks for that.
Yeah, it's so simple because if you really understand that all people want is to be understood, and if you really understand that you have the responsibility to wow the person, meaning to really be interested in him, interested mean have the intention to understand what he needs and want and give it to him and more. And if you make sure that the other person exchange with you with the wow, not just exchange, but with the wow, with that, not only you fix all the relationships, you actually created billionaires. And apropos what's going on around here with the social distancing and all of this nonsense, you have to understand. You have to understand that someone that want to keep you at distance, not communicating, not in a relationship, regardless of what they say, they actually want to destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
And the
And then they're using it with the pretense of protecting you, which is bullshit.
Yeah, because no one can protect you other than you.
Yep.
You know, you look around and you see the mask. The mask, of course, is nonsense. Why is it nonsense? Because viruses will go through that, and you touch things and you touch yourself, and it's definitely not working. But more than that, the mask blocks the oxygen level. If you will take an oxygen meter and you will check a person, you'll see a normal person breathe in normal air is around 21% oxygen level. You go down to 20%, it starts to be dangerous. At 90%, it's detrimental to you. You start destroying your body cells, especially your brain cells.
Yep,
and when you put a mask, not only that the level of oxygen go below 19%, measurable, it's not something that I say, yes?
I know.
It's measurable, but you breathe your own toxin.
Yep.
So the body now become weaker and it's more susceptible to become sicker. So you just opening, instead of having the coronavirus affecting 0.1% of society, it now will affect 5% of society because everyone is sick.
Yep. Your immune system is compromised.
The immune system gets compromised, and your brain, if you still have one, is compromised. Because by the way that people behave, I'm sometimes doubt that, because it's such common sense. Yes. Now, I'm not saying don't use the mask, use them because that's the law. But you need to know, you need to disagree with that, because just put a mask for a day and you feel that you get headache, you get.
I mean, I hate the freaking mask. Whenever I'm in a store, I lower it. And then someone says something and I cover it and then I just lower it again. Because there was one time I was in a store, I was there maybe for an hour and I could feel like a little bit lightheaded. I mean, I'm fit, I'm young, I exercise, so I'm definitely not compromised. I have a very good immune system. And I was like, what the fudge is this? I was like, I'll just put it down, leave my nose out.
So that's some mental anchors that you rely on. And the mental anchors is like that. To live, you need to communicate. When someone wants to cut your communication, he wants to make you live less. Now, what's the mechanism here? The mechanism is quite fascinating. You will see that actually the way that a bullet kills you. If I shoot a bullet at you, what kills you is not the bullet, but it's the speed by which the bullet got through. Yes. So if I take a bullet and I put it through a person's heart over 20, 30, 40 years, slowly he will go through, the bullet will go to the other side and nothing will happen to you.
Yeah.
So it's the speed by which you experience something that gets you to resist it. And what they do right now, it's on a very low gradient, slowly. Gradient is how much speed are you willing to tolerate. So anyone is willing to tolerate a small speed. And the moment that you start to reject it, it's mean that the speed is too high for you, yes? So what they do, they take a very, very, very low speed, very low gradient and get you to agree that there is something dangerous. The fact is that the coronavirus is not more dangerous than car accidents or flu or pneumonia or AIDS or many other things that we live with.
Yep.
I don't say there's no coronavirus. I'm just saying that if there is coronavirus or whatever is the coronavirus, it's just part of life. It's just one more barrier.
Just like everything else.
Yeah, there's per year about, I don't know, 50, 60 million people die per year. Just generally 60 million die per year. Okay, good. If it will be 60.5, you don't even count it.
It's a rounding error.
It's a rounding error. You don't count it, but they make such a big fuss out of people that die, which it's not even important if they really die from corona or not, because there's a big question about that. But the point is, if someone tell you not to communicate, he is not trying to give you more life. Social distancing is not right. It's not right because you don't prevent anything. You know, I was at the shop the other day and they said, well, you know, you need to keep 2 meters from each other. They have these boxes and so on. I said, okay, fine. That's the law. I keep the law. And then I see the guy come and he give a credit card to the lady, and the lady give him the credit card machine, and he put the credit card machine and he types in and he put it on the floor and on the table and he touch it, and then he take the product and he give the lady, and the lady take the product and scan it and
Yeah, that's the point.
And then I come and I take the credit card machine.
Yep.
And she gave me the credit card machine, and I said, no, actually I want to pay with cash. And I give her cash, and she gave me change in cash, and she take a plastic bag and she hold it and she give it to me now. So of course she's probably don't have coronavirus, but of course she can have that. So there is no logical way to protect against a virus, not by quarantine, not by social distancing, and not by anything that is counter life.
Yep.
This is counter life. And if you understand what is for life and what is counter life, anyone that suggests to you to do the counter life, even if it sounds good, it's wrong. For example, we said that a mental anchor is always communicate. And now you have a fight with your wife and you decide not to communicate with her. You'll do that, but it's counter life. The relationship for that time is not so good. There's not too much communication. Even if you do that, you need to know somewhere at the back of your head, this is counter life. And there is no president or World Health Organization or anyone that's going to change it ever, because this is how life is. This is a natural law. People not alive when they stop to communicate. And when you put distance between people, they communicate less and they live less. And when you not only give them social distancing, but you also cover the face, never mind that.
And now you're supposed to hear everyone. And like, it's ridiculous.
So the only message is, if you are smart, look for yourself. Does it make sense? Anything that makes you afraid, contain a lie. Anything that makes you afraid, contain a lie. If something makes you afraid, you are not living. It's better to die and to be free. It's better to die and face your fears. Because your body die, you don't die. But that experience that you took on yourself of being coward,
that's going to live on.
That's going to live on. I am a coward. And once you agree that you are a coward, then I'm afraid from a virus. No, I'm not afraid from a virus. It's not that I'm irresponsible or not doing what I need to do. But if there's a virus, and this is part of life. There is a car accident, and there's airplane accidents, and there's robbers and shooters.
It's part of
And
life.
people living in an area.
The only
I
way
was
to
living.
die if you're alive.
Yeah, I was growing in a place where we had 30 rockets every night.
Mm-hmm.
Every night for years. Okay, so it's fine. It's part of life.
Yeah.
It's part of life. It's part of the game. You don't stop the game because it's difficult. Only useless people stop because it's difficult. Real people start to move when it's difficult. They're not interested when it's easy.
Yeah, and that's
So
something that we always, I mean, it's so interesting because Corona started and we're like, okay, what can we create? Because I feel always when something bad like this happens, it's like so much opportunity. And that's exactly what we've done. And same thing when we had a major hurricane here in Puerto Rico in 2017, 18, I can't remember. 2017, right? Yeah, September 2017. And I was like, we outcreated that like exponentially, like compared to what we had done before. It was like crazy. And because we're like, okay, let's move. And then you have this demand for production because it's like, it's sink or swim, right? You either swim or you sink. So you swim. I mean, that's just.
Yeah. And it is really fascinating to see that people are afraid.
Yeah.
And
the
mental anchor should be, what are my mental anchors? Those mental anchors are so important. It is communication. It is keeping to my values. It is exchange. It is continuing to love your fellow man despite all invitations to do otherwise. It is whatever the risk is, I will do the right thing. I will do the right thing. And the right thing is never to hide. The right thing is never to be afraid. The right thing is never to give up your freedom. The right thing is never to betray your friend. It's never to betray you. It's never to betray your country. This is the right thing. And if you have those mental, what I call mental anchors, if you have those things, you will know what your values are and you will not violate your values. And for you, there will be no pain. And you will see that the virus will come to your area. It will see you and say, oh, that's the wrong guy. Bye. It will go away.
That's what I say. I always say, like, if someone's mentioned stuff like that about the coronavirus, and I'm like, if the coronavirus comes to me, I'm going to kick his ass.
Exactly. They will not even come to me. They see me and they know that this guy's too big. They no, wrong
That's
person
trouble.
to deal
That's
with.
trouble. Next one.
Yeah, it's too good.
And honestly, I see. I mean, for me, I see it as a rather unfortunate because it's for me, it's sad to see people that have bought into this. I guess it is a lie. That have bought into the lie and have a fear of people, have a fear of life, have a fear of what's surrounding them. And it's like, I mean, if we lived lives that way since we were born, we wouldn't be alive. I mean, the body would be nothing. It'd be useless.
And it's actually so bad for the body to clean everything and so on, because the body, in Africa, you have all kind of places where the conditions are really, really poor. There's no social distancing. There's no mask. There's no gel. There's no nothing. They don't get died there. They don't die there. You know why? Because they have an immune system.
Yep.
Yes. So the only way to handle diseases like that, like any other virus in history, is the crowd immune system, and you go and you face it, and you make sure that it's happening, and you take the risk. It's part of life. And how do you know that this is an arbitrary lies? Because they do things like they say, okay, fine, we're now taking off the quarantine and people can go to work, but not gym and not hairdresser. Why? What's the difference? And then, okay, hairdresser, but not massage lady. But then massage lady, but not restaurant. Or you can go to the restaurant, but only stand, not sit.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Complete insanity.
I mean, you don't need to be a doctor to understand that it's nonsense. And
Yes,
mental
like,
anchor.
yeah, I mean, you look at, I took a picture a few weeks ago. It was like I was at Costco and there was like, people were like, it was cramped. Like there was a lot of people there. And I'm like, well, yay, social distancing is out. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. But it's like people don't even look and think for themselves. And then we have all these small stores and all that that have to be shut down just because the government said so. So it's like, why is Costco getting this preferential treatment or these big stores? And then why are people even agreeing to it? I mean, just open your store. And obviously you want to follow the law, but enough people need to get together and push on these politicians and make sure that we hold them accountable for what they're doing to people in mass and to society. Are you there, Meir? Wait, you're back. You're mute now. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're back. Perfect. Good. Welcome back.
It was too much truth. It disappeared.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so we've talked about relationships. We've talked about all this coronavirus stuff. One thing in regard to relationships, and I think I already know the answer, but I guess I mean, I know I already know the answer. It's about upsets. So how do you handle when you have an upset client? Because we already know that there's an out exchange, right? That's what we were talking about. There's some out exchange either from me or from the client.
Yeah, or both.
Or both, exactly. So then how do you, because I sometimes feel like a client I don't know why, maybe it's just my own consideration. It's a little more of a touchy, maybe relationship, or same thing like with a family member. It can be more of a touchy relationship.
Yeah, it's more than of a touchy relationship because you think that it is.
No, exactly. I agree.
For me, a client is a friend.
Yeah.
So when you look at the client, he's not my client before he became my friend.
That's true.
And people that work with me will see that I'm very quickly get in contact with them, and I talk to them, and I help them, and I treat them as a friend. Because they are my friend. And when I look at how I will...
Sorry to interrupt. How do you define friend?
A friend is someone that see so much good in you and can ignore anything bad and will never surrender to an invitation by you to hurt him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's for me a friend. So a friend is, you've got a client and the client say, you do that, you give me, I want to pay this thing without tax. Let's say I want to cheat the taxman, don't pay, I don't know, sales tax or VAT. Now, because I don't want to hurt him, despite all invitation, I will not agree. Or if the guy, he says, you know, I don't want to talk to you, you're a piece of and because I don't want to hurt him, I will continue to talk to him. Or on the other hand, there will be some guy that will be really out of exchange, and I'm telling you know, you need to fix your exchange. You need to do something for me before I will give you anything further. So I had customers that I would say, you know, I love you, no question about it. I will continue to help you, but you don't get any more data from me before you actually exchange with me. I had a customer some years ago, and he paid me for coaching, I think about $250,000, okay? He paid me one time coaching $250,000 for 1 year coaching, and it was not expensive. I gave him a big discount, and I helped him for the whole years. I saved him a lot of money, acknowledged it many times. I got him to close a company that hemorrhaged money for a whole year, and then for 4 years, I continued to help him for free. Didn't charge him.
Wow.
More or less once per year, once per week, once every 2 weeks, he will call me. Every time he had a new agreement, I would check the agreements. Every time he had a problem, I'll give him the handling. Every time he had a problem with his brother, with this, with that, I will help him. And about 5 years later, he comes to me and he says, you know, Meir, I think you didn't give me enough value 5 years ago.
Wow.
5 years ago. So I said, good. First of all, welcome to present time.
I'm glad you're here.
5 years ago. Second, I am really sorry. You are very right. You're very right. I didn't demand enough exchange from you.
Yeah.
So from now on, before you can come to my seminars and get more data from me, what you need to do is to give me some wow. And if not, you're not welcome. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, that's what's going on. I want to help you. I really want to help you. You need to do that. And you'll see that all of those problems that started to crap around you, all of a sudden you've got this problem with your brother, with your mother, with your this, with that, all those problems is because if you do that to me, and to me, like, you know what I'm doing for you. If you do that to me, of course you're doing it to others.
Right.
So we need to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he realized that that's the problem and he started to fix things, he just said, okay, fine, I'll fix it. And he started all of a sudden, just out of the blue, his brother that was trying to rob him from his business came to him and says, you know what, I was thinking about it. And I was going to church and I realized that what I've done for you is not okay. Out of the blue, this guy was trying to rob him from his 50% of the business for years and years. And they were like in all kind of legal issues and and he came out of the blue. Wow. All that guy did is decided to exchange back with me. And of course, he started to exchange with others. Yep. And boom, floor open, relationship fixed, money come in. And he immediately says, so how do I become more Jew? And I told him how. And
see, it's so interesting because so the way I was brought up, I guess in a way, it was like you're always trying to get more, like get something for nothing, right? Or get it cheaper. And so I've been able to kind of change that. So now it's like I want to pay. I want to be in exchange. I want to be like I have one contractor that he's been doing really good work for me. And it's like we'll have a change order and something needs to be changed. And so he'll have to do extra work or whatever. And we just talk about it. And he knows that I want to be in exchange with him. He knows that. And so he's always reciprocating also because then he does more. And we keep that exchange in abundance, right? Because we're always watching out for each other. And it creates such a great relationship and it helps expand the relationship. It's amazing. It's amazing when you really see that. And when you're not just, you're trying to see what you can give rather than what you can get.
Exactly. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it works wonders. And it's just a mindset change. I mean, especially like when you're raised poor and it's like you're trying to get something from what you don't have, right? And it's like, it's insane. Like for me, that viewpoint of trying to get something from someone without paying them or trying to get something, like I remember like when I was younger, like let's say I went to a store or something and they forgot to charge me for something, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't say anything. Or I went to a restaurant or whatever. Now it's like I see something, I always check my bill, but it's not to check how much I'm paying, it's to see if they left something out. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, you forgot this. You didn't charge me for this. You forgot to, and they're like in awe because they're like, you're telling me that you didn't pay this. I forgot to put it on the bill and you want to pay for it. And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
it's amazing. That's one way, but it's happening in another way. Mm-hmm. There's another way that it's happening. And then we have to end.
Yeah, because we keep going.
It's supposed to be 30 minutes.
Shit, we're at 50.
Yeah, no problem. So the other way that it's happened is that people want to buy very expensive. What do I mean? People like to buy very expensive. What do I mean? They go and they look for the cheapest service and then they are paying to the most expensive. So they buy something really cheap, They get service from someone that is really not good. They
Yeah.
saving 50% because this guy gives them 50% discount,
Mhm.
or he's just cheaper, but they never get the actual value. They
Right.
get much worse because the guy cannot deliver in that amount of money. If it
Exactly.
costs me $1,000 and I charge you $1,000, I don't make money. I cannot deliver exchange with a wow, even if I want. Yeah.
I should know that when I'm buying it from you. I should already know that. And I should
Yes.
want to give you more because I want you to survive too.
Exactly. So I buy only from expensive people that can show me that from the beginning they want to do this wow with me, this wow. They charge more. It's okay. I buy from expensive people, and that's one of my indication, because if the guy charges so little, he estimate that his exchange is not so good. That's why I charge so little.
Wow.
Because if you know that did you ever see someone that holding millions of dollars in his hand and he knows that it's millions of dollars and he go and he give it for $10? No, because he know it's $1 million. So
Right.
if someone gives something for $10 when it's actually $1 million, he thinks that his job is worth $10.
Wow. That's
He
huge.
Yeah, he doesn't know that he has a value.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, buy from the more expensive guy. That's one indication. One, of course, it's the more expensive guy, number one, and number two, someone that's willing to give you a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I go and I say, okay, fine. You're more expensive, good indication. Are you willing to give me a guarantee for your job?
Right.
No. No, then you are not good.
Right. If you can't guarantee
If
your
you
work.
don't trust you, how can I trust you?
Exactly.
If
Yep.
you don't trust you, how can I trust you?
Mm-hmm.
No, but some people will steal from me. True, there will be some people that will steal from you, but then you are useless if you cannot pick them up.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to spot those people, and then fine. So you lose 2.5% of the people that will cheat you, but overall you charge much more, and you'll get many more clients. So it's good.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So that was, I mean, I don't know. I hope people really got that, because that there you just dropped there is like freaking gold. Like I'm like I really need to raise my prices on everything. And it's interesting. I'll tell you this quick on a closing note for folks. So we have apartments, right? And we rented an apartment that we were initially advertising for $750 and $800 initially, and we rented it for $900.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just that. It was like I completely got rid of the consideration, because I know I'm delivering value. Like my tenants, all of our tenants, they love us. And like one of them recently said, he was like, "Oh, you're like part of the family." And it's like, why? Because we are exchanging. I mean, we're there and we call and we're in communication and we want to know how they're doing and anything we can help, and we give them gifts, and it's like it's the way it should be, which is the way every relationship should be.
It's the only way.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Meir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone for being online and for the comment. Thank you for Dolly and Kagashna and Della, of course, and Aaron and Margaret and Edward and everyone else that I don't see the comments on Instagram and on Twitter. Please share the video, the interview, and I'm going to start next week on Wednesday the Family Academy. I'm going to start the Family Academy, and go to my website meirezra.com, and there will be some data about it. It's almost there. Probably tomorrow we'll have the information. It's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be free. The first few webinars will be free. It will change the way that you run your family. It will change the relationship with your parent, with your children, with your parents. It will bring you money. It will make you happy. It will change your life. So the Parent Academy is the next free series of webinars that I'm going to do. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's powerful. So and it's new. I'm going to redo the whole Parent Academy.
Yeah, we did the Parent Academy, and oh my goodness, like that is like the relationship we have between ourselves and the relationship with our daughter is, I mean, it's so much data and so much knowledge that we got out of that to helping her be the amazing self that she is. It's like gold, like seriously amazing.
It is gold. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you for Meet and Swap for setting it up. And thank you for Gali and Adar for helping me with all the website and everything in the background.
Where can people follow you, Meir? Where can people follow you?
Yes. If you want to follow me, what you do, you send me a check and
done that.
So if you want to follow me, go to Instagram, Meir Ezra Official, and on Facebook, Meir Ezra Official, and in YouTube is Meir Ezra, and my website is meirezra.com, and Meir is MEIREZRA.com. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Meir.
At 8. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Bye.